Hi, I'm Mindy. Are you looking for a job? Do you know the kind of job that's best for you? Let me help you. Before we proceed, let's see what you already know about applying for a job. Click the next button to proceed. Do you think that skills are always needed when finding a job? Is preparing your biodata the first step in looking for a job? If the interviewer asks about your weak points or weaknesses, does that mean they do not want to accept you? You answered all the questions correctly. There's still a lot more to learn from this module. Click on the next button to proceed. For this module, you will be able to identify the best career options based on your skills. Second, you will be able to identify the characteristics that a good employee must have. Then, you will be able to identify and prepare the things needed in applying for a job. Finally, you will be able to prepare for the interview and effectively express your skills and abilities to your future employer during an interview. Click the main menu button to proceed with the lesson proper. Enjoy learning! Click on the parts of the classified ads such as the right job, the preparation, the interview, and are you ready to know more about the topic? Prepare Know the right job for you. Hey Mando!
Hello, Mindy. It's great to see you. I was hoping to talk to you.
Sure Mando, is there anything that I can help you with?
Well, I am currently looking for a job. I was hoping that you could advise me.
Yes, of course. Let's talk inside. Before you start looking for a job, you need to find out what job will be right for you. Your job and your personality are very important. They will determine whether you will be successful and happy with what you will be doing. To do this, you have to analyze your skills. You should choose the job that you like and the job that you are good at. Now, take a moment to think of the things that you are good at and the things that you are most interested in. To help you make a better decision, you can answer the following questions. Do you like mixing colors? Like to draw and sketch? Have a lively imagination? Like taking photographs or videos? Think fast? Have a clear eyesight? Have an eye for detail, especially when it comes to design? You are a creative and artistic person. You can be a good painter, tailor, carver, furniture maker, decorator, sculptor, photographer, and similar occupations. These are the kinds of jobs that require creativity and artistic talent. Do you like doing things that require motor skills like driving, planting, fishing, carrying objects, dancing, or athletic activities? You have strength and determination. You can be a good dancer, athlete, carpenter, factory worker, janitor, porter, market vendor, farmer, or fisherman. These are the jobs that require strength and perseverance. Do you like meeting people or interacting with children? Are you patient? You may be good in public relations. You can be a customer service attendant, salesperson, house helper, counselor, and similar occupations. These are the jobs that require interaction with different people. Do you like listening to music, playing musical instruments, composing songs, and singing? You can be a good singer, a composer, a band member, and other similar occupations. These are the jobs that require knowledge in music. Do you like dealing with numbers like computers can calculate easily and can easily follow directions? Jobs that suit you best require quick calculating skills. You can be a good cashier, bus conductor, driver, or collector. Do you like repairing appliances in the house? Know electronics and have an eye for detail? You can be a good electrician, technician, repairman, and similar occupations. These are the jobs that require knowledge and interest in electronics and technology. Now, you have a better idea of what you want to do and what kind of work you want. But it does not end there. Remember that for every job, it is important to have the right attitude.
What do you mean by that?
To understand this better, let's watch this video of a model employee named Emilio Perez. Emilio Perez is a taxi driver. As a taxi driver, he makes it a point to serve his passengers well. Every morning, he cleans his car well to make sure his passengers are comfortable. He also makes sure that he looks presentable. He always wears his uniform, a white polo shirt, black slacks, and of course, his black shoes. Unlike some taxi drivers, he makes sure that his meter is accurate. He never asks for tips from his passengers. Most of his passengers, however, do give him tips because he's courteous. This is Emilio Perez, a model employee. Emilio needed no special situation to prove his worth as an employee.
You're right. Just by doing his very best in his job, he has proven that he is a good employee.
To understand more the characteristics of a good employee and be like Emilio, here's a summary of what is a good employee. Click the buttons below to understand the characteristics more. Employees produce quality work if their work is completed on time, if their work is free of errors, if their work is organized such as it is easy for the supervisor to check it, and if their work is creatively done. Employees are productive if they produce quality work in the least amount of time, if they use their time efficiently and do not take unnecessary breaks. Employees are dependable if they meet deadlines, even if they have to change their personal plans. Their work is accomplished within the given time frame. They are rarely absent or late. Employees are team-oriented if they offer to help others as often as they can, if they ask help from others when in need, if they can solve conflicts and problems, and they can interact well with co-workers. Employees have initiative and are self-reliant if they expect the possible difficulties and are able to prepare for them. They are able to perform their work with minimum supervision. They seek new and better ways of accomplishing their task. Now, let's see if you can be a good employee like Emilio. Click the next button to proceed. Match the characteristics described in the situation below by dragging the corresponding images to the placeholders of the equivalent statements. You have a perfect score. Now, you have already identified your interest and know the needed attitude to be able to work efficiently. Click on the next button to prepare yourself for the job application. At this point, you should have already analyzed your skills and determined the most appropriate job for you.
Well, based on my skills and interest, I think I'll really be good at being a salesperson.
Great! Now, let us use that information to prepare for your job application. Before you even start applying, you need to determine where you are going to apply. There are various announcements posted in establishments or sometimes even on electric posts. The best resource for available jobs is the classified ads found in newspapers. Here is an example of a job opening announcement from the classified ads. Take note of the career options that you have identified based on your skill. For this example, the company Lip Jeans has a job opening for a salesperson. Does this fit your interest or skill? They need someone who is between the age of 22 to 25 years old and has a pleasing personality, and must be at least a high school graduate. Do you have these qualifications? If you are interested in this type of job and you are qualified, you can send details of your biodata to the person in charge with the address indicated before the deadline for submission.
If I have already found a job opening, what will I do?
If you have already found a job that you are interested in, it's time to prepare the necessary requirements. Employers may ask you to apply in person, which means that you have to bring the necessary requirements with you when you go to the company. Most employers, however, prefer that you give your biodata or resume first for them to evaluate. This can be done by personally bringing your biodata, sending it via the post office or the internet, depending on their policies.
What are these requirements?
The basic requirements that employers are likely to ask from you are the following: the ALS A and E certificate, the biodata or resume, basic, the Alternative Learning System accreditation, and equivalency certificate or ALS A and E certificate is the document that indicates how you perform in each of the learning areas covered in the ALS A and E test. NBI clearance. The next one is the NBI clearance. You can get one from the National Bureau of Investigation office nearest you. This is to make sure that you have no criminal record. Biodata or resume. And lastly, the biodata or resume. These documents are alike in the information that they contain. They only differ in terms of presentation. These documents will provide your employer details of your personal and educational background, history of your employment, and your character references. Four parts. First is the personal data. Second is the educational attainment. Third is the employment record. And fourth are the character references. The personal data section gives your personal background like age, place, and date of birth, civil status, whether single or married, religion, and other personal details. This will give the employer your profile. The educational background portion gives your educational attainment and other trainings attended. This will give the employer an idea of what you can more or less do given your education and training. The employment record. The employment record lists the other jobs that you have had and how long you have stayed in these jobs. Sometimes you are also asked why you left your previous job. This may give the employer an idea on how well you can do the job. It is always better that you have experience that is related to the position that you are applying for. The character references section lists people who you know and who can give the employer an idea of what kind of person you are. Normally, employers contact these people and ask about you. So it is necessary that you inform people beforehand that you will use them as references. Make sure that they can attest to your good qualities.
If I already have the requirements, can I already give it to the employer?
Well, you're not quite ready yet. Even if you have prepared your biodata, you still need an application letter or cover letter to go with it. Writing an application letter is necessary when applying for a job. Here, you introduce yourself to the company or individual you are applying at. Writing an application letter requires careful planning and organizing. Your letter should accomplish three things. First, it must introduce you and tell your reason for writing. Second, it must sell your skills and experience. And lastly, it must have an effective closing. Before you mail the application letter, read it over again, making sure that it is perfect. Special attention should be placed to ensure the letter is not too long, that there are no grammar or spelling errors, that you have answered the job requirements, and that the application letter is easy to read. Here is an example of an application letter. Your application letter should contain the date, address, and the name of the employer. The date should be accurate. Likewise, the name of the employer, position, and address. Next section contains the salutation. Rather than using dear, it would be more appropriate and formal to use sir, ma'am, Mr., or Miss. This section contains the body of the application letter. Here, you should indicate your skills and qualifications that makes you fit for the job. Your letter should clearly state your skills as a worker. Be respectful and sincere. Avoid mentioning anything about salary unless it is requested by the employer. Next section is the closing. Your letter should end on a positive note. You should clearly express your desire to get the job. Next section is the complimentary close. You should remain formal in your complimentary close. The words very truly yours, respectfully yours, are normally used. The last section contains your name and signature. You don't need to mention your old or current job position. Now, you are ready to write your application letter. You already know the necessary requirements before you're going to apply for the job of your interest. Now, we'll see if you can clearly distinguish the job openings, biodata, and application letter. Click the next button to proceed. Drag the group of text to the placeholders below that best describes and identify its content and parts. You got a perfect score. Now, you can already prepare your own basic requirements. You can click the next button to proceed.
Mindy, after I have already accomplished my requirements and sent it to the employer, what will I expect next?
Now, you need to prepare for your final test, the job interview. The job interview is the most important part of the application process. This is a face-to-face encounter with your future employer. It is important to make a good first impression.
What do you mean by good first impression?
Well, it means that the interviewer remembers you in a good way after the interview. You can start by being properly dressed for your interview.
What do you think is the proper attire for my interview?
This long-sleeve polo is just right. Now, you are ready for the interview.
Thanks, Minds. Aside from my attire, what are the other things that I need to prepare?
Aside from the attire, it is important that you come to the interview on time. Being on time shows that you are committed or that you really want the job. You can also prepare some questions for the employer. Your questions can deal with policies, expectations, benefits, and salary, among others. You should also practice what you want to say during the interview. Think about the answers to the common questions asked during interviews. To help you with this, click on the images to listen to common questions and appropriate answers for the interview.
Tell me about yourself.
Sir, as I have indicated in my bio data, I have previous experience in a related job and company. This is why I am confident I can do the task of a salesperson. I am a very fast learner and I like working with people. I am a responsible and honest person and I know that if given the chance, I can be very good at this job.
The employer wants to know how you express yourself. Do not mention your personal profile such as your age, birthday, because this is already written in your biodata.
What would you consider your best skills?
I can deal with different kinds of people. My previous job has trained me for that. Furthermore, I am patient. I believe this is very important for a salesperson. I take pride in what I do and work towards improving myself and being responsible for the duties assigned to me.
The employer wants to know what you can contribute to the company.
Do you prefer to work alone or with others?
I prefer to work with others. I am a team player, and I believe that in this job, being a team player is very important. I like working with people, and I think it is always great to be part of a team. But I also don't have any problems if I work alone.
Most employers want team players, so they want to assess how you will be able to work with a team.
What are your hobbies?
I play basketball, chess, and I also play the guitar.
The employer may be looking for your other skills. Also, having a hobby implies that you have a life outside of your work. Employers feel that employees who engage in hobbies are less stressed and are happier and healthier.
What is your major weakness?
I often worry too much about my work, like when I record sales. I usually stay late just to make sure it is accurate. I think I'm sometimes a perfectionist. I get frustrated if I am not able to do my work properly and in the best way possible.
This does not mean that you will spill out all your negative traits. In fact, you should only cite one and turn that weakness into a strength. Did you notice how Joshua turned his worry too much about work into making sure that it is accurate?
Do you have any questions?
Sir, how many salespersons are you planning to get? Sir, I would like to know the typical day for a salesperson in your company.
It is important to ask questions related to the company or the job that you are applying for. This implies that you are interested in the job. We'll see if you are already prepared for your interview. Click the next button to proceed. Click the true option button if the statement is correct and false option button if the statement is incorrect. You've got a perfect score. Now, you're ready to face your future employer, prepared and with more confidence. You can click the main menu button to review what we have discussed.
Thank you very much, Mindy. You've been a great help.
You're welcome. Good luck. If you want to review what we have discussed, you can click the main menu button. Click on the parts of the classified ads such as the right job, the preparation, the interview, and are you ready to know more about the topic?